Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Leslie Said What? Yeah, guys, welcome. I am super excited that you guys are all here. I'm even more excited about my guest tonight. Remember, I came live. I went live this morning and on my story and on my page and told you guys to be here for Jason Mack. Okay. All right. So I hope you all are coming in here one by one. As always, once you get in here, speak up. Let me know you're here. Okay. So if you're in here, say hey so I can recognize you and join the conversation. I mean, if you want to ask something. But join the conversation, okay? It makes it more fun that way. All right, so before we get started, as always, I like to go ahead and show you guys the trailer for the person I'm talking about, okay? So the movie I told you about that's lit, like absolutely lit, is A Father's Legacy. And that is the movie that I want you guys to learn about, hear about tonight from Jason. Okay. So look, I'm going to try to share this screen a different way today to show you guys this trailer. So let's hope it works. All right. So let's see what's going to happen right about now. All right. So, all right, guys, here goes nothing. Let's see if this works.
Moving is so
JK, of course, there's going to be a commercial.
hard.
Luckily, I rent my furniture from Feather.
See, guys, and that is why I always try to have the video embedded in my system because then I ain't gotta worry about all of that, okay? Because then it gets crazy. See what I mean? I'm trying to be legit. So what happened last time, for those of you who are just joining us, last time I tried to do this and embed it in the actual system, what ended up happening is we weren't able to watch the full trailer because YouTube decided, yo, you're using somebody else's stuff, so it wouldn't play. So I tried to be all like, I don't know if the word is politically correct or legal, whatever. Today by showing it and sharing my screen, and you see what happened, right? We get an ad. So I think the ad is over. We're gonna head back there now. Just a second, y'all. Just a second. Bear with me, especially those of you joining my podcast and is like, dude, what is happening? So here, let me share it with you now. Again.
In Asgard, where there are wolf's ears, wolf's teeth are near.
Nope, that's not the movie. Can we say like technical difficulties? I don't even know if that's like the thing to say, but it is what it is. Oh my gosh, I promise this normally works. Hold on, guys. Give me a second. That's what I get for trying to be legal and things. All right, so I'm going to re-pull it up. OMG. This is why I always pull it up ahead of time. Jason, bear with me. I have no idea why my computer is flipping out. All right, for the 10th time, guys, let's try this again.
My dad used to tell me that the ripples on the water were a representation of our life. It's important to pursue a relationship with your Heavenly Father. Every time that stone hits the water, it affects the area around it.
Is that the people in our lives?
Can be.
See, I had an earthly father who was never around.
Do you want to talk about your father?
Nothing to talk about.
And at the center of each circle is a choice we make. Why'd you steal that money? How's this all turning out for you?
Trying to make the best of the situation.
In the situation you created, coming into my house and pointing a gun at me.
You better watch it, man. Be careful where you're walking. Okay, I'm in charge.
So this is your idea of being in charge, huh?
A call from the neighbors said they might have seen someone in the woods in connection with a warehouse robbery in town. Bart tagged him on the way out, so he might be looking for a place to shack up.
Only lived out here.
Long time.
Getting scared of being alone.
I ain't scared of much. Being alone ain't one of them.
Well, we want to know who your friend is. What's your name?
All right,
Time to go. We're not looking for no trouble. You stay here and you'll find it.
Gotta think about your decision, the effect it has on others, and on yourself. Listen, listen, Gonna come a day when you have to answer for your past. And I would recommend that you not wait till you're an old guy like me. What?
You're so old.
I need a beer.
Really good movie, guys. I encourage you 110 times to see this. So if you are watching the replay, again, I encourage you guys to watch it. Towards the end of the interview, I'm going to get Jason to tell you guys how you can view it. It was in theaters recently, but if you missed it, trust me, you didn't miss it. There's going to be an opportunity. All right. So without further ado, I'm going to bring Jason Mack onto the screen. Here we go. Jason, what is up?
What's up? For a minute there, I was like, oh, snap. I directed a Loki movie. I was like,
Oh my
this is
gosh.
awesome. Please do.
I was like, wait a minute, that voice is that's not it. Oh my gosh. And so like it drives me insane because every time somebody comes on, all the people who ever watch know that like I try to like pre-record the trailer and show it within my StreamYard. And then I get like an alert from Facebook that's like, you're not allowed to do that. So today I tried to be legal and you see what happens.
I mean, that's what happens. You know?
Trying to do things the right way. But anyway, so again, thank you again, Jason, for being here and taking out time to be here. I really appreciate it. So tell me, Jason, tell me a little bit about yourself. Who is Jason Mack?
I am, I'm from South Carolina and I'm living in Los Angeles. So I'm a Southern boy telling stories in LA. But yeah, I've been out here for 8-9 years. And
Okay.
I didn't start getting into the storytelling game until I was probably like 25, mid-20s.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I was a sales director for a microbrewery in South Carolina. So I was driving up and down the East Coast in my young 20s and slinging beer, which is probably like, you know, like the perfect job for a lot of people in my position.
Yeah.
But and I love the people I worked for and with, but I got to the point where I was like, okay, do I want to be doing this in 5 years? Do I want to be doing it in 10 years? And I was like, what do I really want to do? Like, what trying to listen to my soul? What does my soul want to do?
Exactly.
And I thought back to when I was young and how stories, how movies and TV shows, how they would impact me emotionally, and they make me feel, they made me cry, or they would make me, you know, think about issues in the world, or it would just be complete escapism and you just laugh. And I was like, I want to do that. Like, I want to impact people that way. And that set off my journey to, almost over a decade later to be here.
Amazing. That is so amazing. Now, what part of South Carolina did you say you were from?
I'm from Sumter, right in the middle.
Sumter. Okay. I went to college in Gardner Webb, which is like south, which is like Greenville, South Carolina.
Oh, yeah.
Near there?
Yeah. Wasn't Gardner Webb technically in North Carolina?
Yeah, it was North Carolina, not Green. Oh my gosh, what am I saying? Boiling Springs near Greenville.
Yes. So
like we used to go to Greenville on the weekends.
I played tennis. I played tennis at Wofford College, and Gardner Webb was in our conference. So I went to Gardner Webb a few times.
Yeah. That's where I started off. I went to college there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Loved it. Small town, but loved it. So yeah, definitely get the small town to LA thing. Like, what, bro? Definitely a hike. So you said a little bit, but why acting? Is it just like it was just something that you had passionate about? Was it like, you know, this is what it's going to do? And I know that you had said a great point. I love how you said that. Nobody has brought that out yet, which I'm so glad you did, is the part when you said that the way that film or shows or whatever makes people feel. It literally is an escape from like everyday life.
Yeah.
Like, I know for me, I don't know if you've ever observed this, but even as a kid, like if I'm watching something, people could go past me, call my name. I'm like in the zone.
Oh my gosh, like if something's on TV, I can be at a restaurant and there'll be like an episode of like CSI on the TV with subtitles, and I'm just like,
Mhm. Mhm.
and I'm like, don't talk to me, and which is not
It's true.
appropriate if you're in a restaurant. So I don't think any restaurant should ever show like shows. Maybe sports is fine, but
Yeah,
I'm
sports.
drawn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I'm with you. Sports is one thing, but yeah, if it's something like that's worth watching in a sense of like, hey, I need to pay attention. Yeah, that's
Mm,
definitely should not be in a restaurant.
yeah, yeah.
So let's talk about your most recent work, which was A Father's Legacy. Woo!
Boom.
Well done,
Here.
well done, by the way.
Here we are. This has been, a labor. There's been some love in there, but
Yeah.
I wrote this in 2017 and
Mm.
we shot it in 2018, and it's finally here. But this movie for me was really personal because it came from the time after my father passed. My father passed away unexpectedly.
Oh, wow.
And I love my dad, wasn't a perfect man, but he was a great father, and him and my mother always supported me, even though my dad would probably have preferred I was a banker or something. But it's like, imagine telling like a Southern parent, hey, I'm going to move to Los Angeles. I'm going to be an actor. It's like, you might as well be telling them you're going to sprout wings and
Exactly.
all kinds of stuff.
And that you suddenly believe you can fly.
Yeah. So it's like a whole new world. LA's a different place when you live in the South. But
Exactly.
but after that time, I was like, it was very much a before and after moment for me, and being like, what did my dad mean to me, and like, what did I mean to him, and so really looking at like, what is a father to a son, and what is a son to a father, and a lot of those things that I kind of discovered during that time period of reflection are really the fundamental themes in the film. About this, and the film's about this young man who goes out in search of his father that he never knew.
Yeah.
And also like a lot of the other elements in there were just things that were real to me, like my faith. Like I put that in there. So I definitely, I tell people, it's like, this is a love letter. This is my love letter to my father. And
stop.
Yeah, but what's cool is like, it's out there now. It's like it is out there.
Awesome.
It's done. And it will exist forever, long past me.
So, what a great idea. Like, literally, to say it like that is like, oh. So, hey, I saw you had a wedding ring, but I was going to say, if you were dating, it'd be like, oh my gosh, I so want to marry him. That's how girls are. I so want to marry him. He's so heartfelt. That was one of those moments. Oh my gosh. But yeah, so it's just like amazing to hear that. Now, get this. I had no idea you wrote it until you just said that. Can you believe that? So, like, when I looked at the thing,
it was written and directed by Jason Mack.
So when I looked at it earlier, I was like, wow, he's like the star in this. That's awesome. Whoever wrote this must be so proud. So I'm sure he is very proud. So yeah, I promise you, like, so when you were talking, I was like, oh wait, he wrote it. So yeah, it's amazing. Seriously, guys, like those who are watching the replay, once you guys watch the replay, if you're listening by podcast, when you pull up the podcast, guys, I can encourage you 110 times to go watch this movie. And I'll tell you how, well, Jason will tell you how in a bit. But seriously, guys, it is unlike anything I've seen in a long time. Like, as far as like that father thing, like there's one thing to like preach it in some of these movies in like a cheesy or like sometimes it goes in like a crazy way, but this one was just like that happy medium. It wasn't like you lost attention and stuff like that, because like the approach with the limited characters, oftentimes that literally gets kind of skewed, but it was awesome. So I just have to applaud you on that. It was really good.
And a lot about that was the chemistry between Tobin Bell and I. And it really, like, if we didn't really get along, if we didn't have that natural chemistry, it's not going to work. Because at the end of the day, it's about two dudes talking.
Two dudes, yeah.
So, and we would joke about that. It was like, this is what the movie is.
Yeah.
Two dudes talking in the woods. And hopefully people will be able to relate to one or both of the characters or aspects of the characters, because, as you saw, there's no perfect person in here. There's no, there's no, well, this is the good, virtuous one. It's like, nah, like these are two broken guys. They're two very broken guys.
And I love how you did that, because even if on the father side realm or the fatherhood realm, if people couldn't connect with that part, but that story of, like, how all of us have that story of redemption in a sense, so if nothing else, they could see it in that way. Like, we all have issues, we all have problems, but it's what you choose to do with them. I did like that. That was one of the things in the movie that I did truly enjoyed with, I don't want to tell too much. So anyway, but yes. Like I was going to reference something specifically, but I don't want to tell the movie.
Spoilers. No spoilers.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no, like, okay. So in that aspect, what made you choose Christian entertainment? Like, have you always, well, obviously not always done Christian entertainment, because I did read your bio, but why Christian entertainment?
What's interesting about that question, and the honest answer is, like, I didn't set out to do Christian entertainment.
Oh, okay.
I set out to make a movie about themes that were personal to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I put aspects of my own journey, my own faith journey in there, and things that I struggle with.
Yeah.
And that's the movie that came out. So it's like, I didn't go in being like, yo, here's my agenda, and I need to let people know about this. It's like, I wanted to do it in a way that it was, to me, realistic, that it was grounded in reality, because a lot of the epiphanies I've had in my faith journey, didn't happen from someone in a pulpit talking to me. It happened from real life experiences and intimate conversations and just real life settings. And that's what I put in there. So for me, I'm very much a storyteller first. And I was like, if you convey this in the appropriate way, the message will get across.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like that. Definitely the same way. Like, I grew up in church my whole life, but it wasn't until a lot of times, a lot of the things that literally hit me most or were able to minister to me most were things outside the four walls. So, like, I totally get how you were saying in that aspect, like, and it's good that, like, it did get pulled in by Christian entertainment, because of a lot of times I know, like, especially certain people who have these, specific guidelines when it comes to watching things, especially nowadays with the way media has gotten, they want something clean, but genuine, but good, and good production quality, and, whatever. There's so many demands being met, but having movies like this that have that good balance of it all, it's totally needed. So yeah, so that part's good. What is an obstacle that you've had to overcome as an actor?
When I first hear this question, it's kind of funny, because nobody, it's like the obstacle I've had to overcome is not working.
Yeah.
It's and that was one of the things that got me into writing and directing is I was in Atlanta for a couple of years and did some roles on things like Vampire Diaries and stuff like that. And then I came out to LA and did some roles on, Castle, Criminal Minds, and some smaller films and stuff like that. But it was like, I didn't want to sit around on the couch and wait around for my manager, my agent to call. And so, I had this, when I moved to LA, I had this idea in my head that, sure, I'll direct one day, but I'll be on like the second or third season of my television series, and I'll be like, hey guys, I want to direct an episode.
Yeah.
And I was going to wait a really long time, I think, for that to happen. This is a very permission-based industry. You probably know that as well, right? It's like, and I think what's cool about YouTube and a lot of outlets out there, and especially with how you can make a film, it's like, you gotta do it yourself sometimes.
It's true.
So I did this in a way that was, I didn't want to wait for permission. It's like, I'm going to tell this story. I don't care if we have $10, 10,000, or 10 million. And we definitely did not have 10 million.
Yeah, you're like, that definitely was not the case.
But it was, that's the biggest obstacle is you're waiting on someone else to give you permission. And And I'm not built that way. And so I wanted to take control of the story a little bit more, both like literally the story and also my story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And see, and that's so good though. Like it literally it takes, like you said, it's a love letter to your father. So it takes like a level of courage and bravery to like be that vulnerable and put that out there for other people to enjoy. And I totally support. And so like you just said a mouthful, and I don't even know if you realized it, but it's like, why wait? Like figure out how to make it happen. Like that's what happens with so many people with their dreams and different things that they want to pursue. Oh, I want to someday, or I would one day. Like make it happen. So like for you to say just that, like even with like not being able to get work, so you're like, hey, I'm gonna like grab the bull by the horns and just go at it. That is so essential for most people, because it's something that most people don't do. So hey,
Well,
and look where you ended up.
Yeah, a lot of people ask, they're like, and I get this, and it's like, I want to be an actor, my so and so wants to be an actor, or I want to write, or I want to make something. It's like, what do I do? And I'm like, do something. It's like, have you written it? No, I'm not a good writer. And I'm like, then don't worry about it. It's like, oh, well, I don't know, I don't have a camera. And it's like, really? You have like a really good camera in your pocket in your iPhone. I don't know how to edit.
Mm-hmm.
Really? You can get the full editing suite for like $50 a month. It's like, well, I don't have $50. And it's like, well, you need to like stop going out on Friday night. Like, I don't, it's like, we're going to keep getting in our way here. And at the end of the day, it's like, I didn't go to film school. I everything that I've learned in film, I've essentially taught myself, or I've learned from people who've been generous with some time with me. But it's like, I didn't go to film school. To learn how to edit or how to use new software, I went to the library and got a book. So,
right. Wow.
It's like, you just have to do it, and you're going to mess up. It's, it's kind of like for you're learning the YouTube game, how to share some trailers. And, you're kind of like having to teach yourself a little bit and find ways around it. You're making some mistakes along the way, but like, you're going to find the way to do it. Mm-hmm. And so when someone's like, what do I do? And it's like, you just have to do it. You're going to make mistakes. But if you want someone to do it for you, it's like, you should probably, I don't know if this is good advice. I don't know if it's positive advice, but it's like,
but no, you're right. I
don't worry about it. Right. Mm-hmm. You're going to like, just live your life. Don't worry. Like, just give up that stress. If you're not going to put the time in, just let it go and understand it's okay.
Yes, it's true. Like, and that's the thing is, it's people like, you're always doing something. That's because I have a goal. I know what I want to be. I know what I want to do. Yeah, I don't know how exactly to get there, but I'm doing something. So, like the talk show game, my comedy stuff, like I just one day was like, I'm done waiting for somebody to find me, and it's just like put myself out there. Like, and that's what is so key nowadays. Like you said, if you're waiting for somebody to do it for you, that's expensive, number one. Number two, it's like it comes down to you making the effort. And like there's so many YouTube videos on how to do stuff. Like you said, the books.
Yeah, I mean, this point, like everything. If there's something you want to know, I mean, I've taught myself how to make like CGI missiles on YouTube. You know what I mean? It's like, right. I mean, like you can literally find out anything if you put like a little time into it. Otherwise, like, well, I think a good sports analogy or metaphor is, I think people want to take like the game-winning shot in like the championship game, and it's like you got to put up a lot of shots before you get there. Mm-hmm. And the best way to start doing that is get off the bench and just start shooting.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
110% true. And the more people that have that attitude, because like even talking to people who've made it, if you talk to them, that's what they're going to say. They hustled nonstop to get to where they are. Nobody gave it to them, but they made sure that they were continuously hustling so that the right people at the right time could find them or approach them or whatever. But they didn't get it from just sitting there. And even in the Christian world, let's be for real. In the Christian world, it's like, oh, I have faith. God's going to do it. He's going to bless me. If I just wait and I stay still. He didn't mean sit still.
It's like, what's interesting is God is like, yo, listen, he calls you to action. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Just start working. right? And he said, well, how do I know if I'm in the right direction? God will know what to do. Okay.
Mm-hmm,
Like, oh no, I went in the wrong direction. Like, God can't use me. It's like, really?
Really? Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Like you can be used, and it's fun. Like, I was talking to a buddy of mine today, and he went with a few friends of his to go see the movie in theaters last week. And so the movie gets done, the guy comes over to him and he's like, yeah, man, like, I've been thinking about like getting closer to like God in my own relationship. And so it's like, and I get jazzed up when I hear that, because it's like, I don't know this dude,
Yeah.
but I've had multiple people tell me that, like, somebody that maybe didn't have a close relationship went with them, and then they're like kind of asking questions. And I'm like, cool. Provoke them to
That's
thought.
what we do.
That's
It doesn't take knocking them over the head with a Bible. It's like, hey, those small little things, and then those little seeds, and then that's where it comes. The questions get asked. So, like in teaching high school, oh my goodness. So I teach high school, and talking to some of my kids sometimes, when it's like, hey, I want to be this, and I want, everybody wants to be a YouTuber now. I mean, come
Of course.
on. Like, oh my gosh, they all want to be YouTubers, gamers, because Miss Rob, you don't understand. Like the YouTubers I watch on YouTube, they have million blah blah blah.
You're gonna make
followers.
so much money,
You're gonna make,
and it's really easy, and it's like, and it's
Mhm.
like, oh yeah, you have no idea how much work they put in. I could not imagine to be like one of the, the amount of content that they have to curate and put out is like, I don't know how they do it. And
Right.
what a lot of people don't understand is, when it comes to like podcasts and stuff like that, it's like, you got to plan on going to 100 episodes.
Oh yeah.
You think you're gonna hit it big in 10, 20 episodes?
Yeah,
No, it's like it
It's not a
builds
thing.
organically. You don't just all of a sudden have like 3 million people watch them. Like, no, it's like you have to
Exactly.
continually do it. And you start with like 2 viewers, and then like 3, and then you're at 7, and then you're at 12, and then you're 25, and now you're 111.
Exactly. It's a process. And that's the thing nowadays. I notice, even amongst, like I said, our next generation, my students, nobody wants to endure the process. They just want the quick fixes. And things don't last that way. Let's just be for real.
Well, a lot of people don't want to talk about the process.
No.
They want to talk about the glam, and it's like, that's one of the things I've tried to tell people with this movie, because like some people have been like, you made it, and I'm like, yeah, no. It's like I wrote this in 2017.
Yeah.
It's 4 years later that it's coming out. Like, that's a long time. It's not like, oh well. And then before that, like, go look me up on IMDb. I've been in a lot of stuff. I mean, relatively, I guess. And it's like, it's a big process. There's no
It
overnight.
is.
Yeah.
It's and so, like, if nobody gets anything else from this interview, if you're listening, like I said, via podcast or watching the replay, is if you get nothing else, like, this, it's gonna take the work, guys. Like, faith without works is dead. Like, endure the process. Get up and do something. Like, your dreams are not gonna just come and knock on your door and be like, hey, here you go.
Yeah.
No. It is a process. We have to endure it, and it's worth it. Look at Jason right here, a living testimony to that. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Okay, Jason. So how can they see, or we see, A Father's Legacy? I already got to see it, but
Boom. July 16th.
Okay.
It is going to be out on all digital and on demand. So that means pretty much anywhere you want to buy a movie, like online on your TV, like it's the iTunes, Google Play. I mean, Comcast, DirecTV. It's going to be everywhere. So July 16th.
Dude.
Yeah, get it.
That's what's up. You got it on all streams. Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I got to give a shout out to my distributor, Cinedigm. I mean, that's definitely they're getting it out there.
You're like,
yeah. Yeah. I mean, I could have done and I did look into this, but it's like I could have done like iTunes, like I could have gotten like 4 or 5, but no, it's kind of nice. People are like, where's it going to be? And I'm like, everywhere. And they're like, no, where? And I'm like, wherever you can buy a movie at home, it will be there.
That is so awesome. So yeah, guys, if you want to catch it, definitely it's worth a night in. Watch it. A Father's Legacy. Most people, which is crazy, by the way, a lot of people say they're not even going to theaters anymore, because now everything is either in theaters or HBO Max. So things, the poor theaters. Like, I still love going to the movie. But
the
anyway,
thing is, in theaters, Theaters they're not going anywhere.
Yeah, I
And
know.
they're
I
not
love
going
going to
anywhere.
the movies.
It's I do think, unfortunately, like a lot of dramas we're going to stop watching in theaters. I do think that. I think it's going to be more of a tentpole thing. But at the end of the day, it is pretty cool to get in a space, in a dark room with a bunch of strangers, and to just kind of go on this emotional journey. And and it's like you can't have the sound. It's not even the size of the screen. It's like the sound.
Oh
the
yeah.
theaters, like they're coming back, and I was happy.
Yeah.
I was happy, like, to do my little part last week. Just
Yeah.
like my little one night. It's like I helped theaters come back.
Yeah. Hey, there you go. You did. You sowed a seed. Yeah, and so like the ones near us are starting to open up again. Like they've been trying to open up for a while, but like now it's like, hey, get to the theater, get to the theater, get to the theater. So yeah, so yes, hopefully, but if not, guys, if you do not make it to a theater, July 16th, anywhere that has the capability of streaming or purchasing DVD. Can you purchase a DVD?
In September in Walmart, you will be able to.
Okay, September. Okay, so I'm glad I took that back. Because one of the girls who follows, she always asks about the DVD, and it will be not till September, but you can stream July 16th, guys.
Well, I don't know if technically it's because I'm getting the lingo down, Leslie. So stream, people like, it's gonna be on Netflix. I'm like, no, not Netflix is different.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I meant like purchasing.
Yeah,
streaming.
so like Hulu and Netflix and like HBO Max, like those will be kind of the end of the road, and we'll see what happens with that. But like iTunes, do people buy movies in other places besides iTunes? I just buy stuff on iTunes.
I buy iTunes, Prime.
Yeah, I'll do Amazon.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, and that's it.
Yeah, that's what I do. I guess, like, I don't know. So, but we're gonna be everywhere else too. So if you can buy it, we're there.
Yes, there we go. That's the best way to put it. If you can buy it, it's there.
Yes.
There we go. Well, thank you so much, Jason, for joining me. It was so nice having you. This conversation has been fun. So if you're watching the replay, guys, go see A Father's Legacy via buying wherever you can buy it. I was about to say stream again, wherever you can buy it, and enjoy it. Again, Jason, thank you so much, and have a great rest of your, it's not evening yet there, right? It's like afternoon.
Like late afternoon.
So enjoy the rest of your day.
There you go.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Those who weren't able to make it tonight, feel free to watch the replay, catch it on podcast. Thank you again to Jason. Again, go watch A Father's Legacy, guys. On whatever platform you choose to buy it, July 16th, have at it. And so, Leslie said what? See, it's a mouthful, guys. It's a mouthful. Leslie said what? Season 2, episode 6 is out.